Blerd Assassin. Counter thoughts. Star date 06 26 21. Now, if you're a sports fan, the month of June has been a pretty exciting month thus far. The NBA playoffs are in full tilt. We're starting to see that a lot of these architects of the super teams that a lot of old school fans weren't too happy about. These architects are starting to run into some brick walls and run into newer teams that really doesn't matter against, and they're coming up short. Me personally, I'm a fight fan. Not only did Israel Adesanya defend his title successfully against Martin Vettori, we also seen Nate Diaz make a comeback, which was impressive. And if you didn't see that fight, it ended so spectacularly that you got to see it to believe it. You wouldn't believe me if I told you how that ended. Also, Anderson Silva, former MMA champ and highly regarded as the greatest MMA fighter ever, made his long-awaited return to professional boxing and found success in defeating, let me see, what was his name? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And in I believe it was an 8-round, professional fight. So it's been pretty awesome month for fight fans such as myself. Also, the Olympics are around the corner. It was delayed last year, but Olympics are around the corner. There's a lot of black girl magic flexing right about now. Let me see, Sha'Carri Richardson, I believe, found success breaking a world record. Let me see, Allison Felix, a woman from the previous Olympics, who happened to be dropped by Nike when she came up pregnant. She found success. She's going back to the Olympics. So props to her, being a mom and achieving that. Also, let's see, Simone Manuel, who in the last Olympics won a gold medal in a swimming event. She just qualified to go to the Olympics again. Like I said, a lot of black girl magic. Also, Simone Biles, of course, she's going to go do her thing. This woman's basically untouchable. They're making up new rules for this young lady due to the fact that people can't do what she does. But while we're on the subject of Olympics and young black girls, black women, finding success in the Olympics, I want to just bring to attention somebody who I believe is falling under the radar. This happens to be Claressa Shields. Now, Claressa Shields is a Flint, Michigan native who at 16, qualified for the Olympics and won a gold medal. The following Olympic Games, she did what no other boxer in history of American boxing has done. She achieved another gold medal. After that, she went pro and has found success having the fastest ascension of any boxer, basically winning 3 titles in 3 separate weight classes. Last year, Claressa decided to make the jump to MMA, and she found success earlier this month doing so in the Professional Fight League. It was a tough fight for her, a good first fight in MMA. It was a come from behind victory in which she was down 2 rounds. She was getting worked on the ground, but she showed composure. She showed that champion mindset. And every time it was on the feet, you've seen the difference in skill between somebody, with her repertoire in comparison to the average MMA fighter. And it was leaps and bounds. And she, was able to get a stoppage in the 3rd round via ground and pound, showed promise. And this is something that a lot of boxing champs nowadays, they wrestle with or they play with, that they're going to go and do MMA, a la Floyd Mayweather. Other than, James Toney and Ray Mercer, no boxing champ has really made that jump. The only one who really has and successfully had a winning record was Ray Mercer. James Toney was one and done in the UFC. You heard a lot of people talk about making that jump, but when you get in there and train for a day and it's your first day training in an MMA class, you may want to rethink that. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. So, with her making that jump, wanting to test herself against other female combat athletes, I mean, that's something that should be commended. She's completely out of her element, making that transition and finding success, you guys. I mean, it's pretty amazing to watch. And I think she deserves more of our support, as a community, as sports fans, as fight fans, because the woman's amazing. She's doing something that no other boxer in history has done, from the Olympics to, her climb up the ranks as a professional, to making that transition to MMA. I mean, it's amazing to watch. If you're unfamiliar with Claressa Shields, I advise you to go look her up. Simply amazing, and she definitely deserves more of our support. Just my thoughts.